This is Beer in Front, part of the Beer Media Group. Every week I'll talk to people in and around the beer world and get their stories all about beer. That's Beer in Front, and it's coming up now. Welcome to episode 239 of Beer in Front. I'm your host, Dave Zalatoris, and Beer in Front is a charter member of the Beer Media Group. Hope everyone had a great holiday. This episode, I'm going to the suburbs. Usually I stay in my little city area, but I talked to my friend Paul LaLonde. He was on the show a couple years back. We talked about Black Sabbath when I did my special on the year 1971. But Paul's a Western Suburbs guy. I wanted to talk about some of the breweries, so Paul was the guy that I went to. So that was really cool. Some good breweries that we mentioned. I'm going to have a beer from one of those breweries a little later in the show. If you listened to the episode last week, I mentioned that I'm going to start running some ads that are host-driven. So they'll be read by me. I get a percentage of these, but these are companies that I have done business with in the past, and I like them. So I'm going to do one for Harpoon Brewery. I've ordered some stuff from them. I like their beers. I ordered some stuff, so I like it. Good shipping, came quick. And the other one I'm going to do is for Ritual Zero Proof. This is a line of non-alcoholic spirits, so you can listen to both. I have codes that it's going to save you some money, helps the show out, and in the show notes, I'm going to include the link. So if you want to check these products out for yourself, feel free to hit those links, and you'll be on your way to saving yourself some cash. If you'd like to support the show and you don't want to buy stuff, you could head over to patreon.com/beerinfront. You could support the show there. If you need to get a hold of me for any reason, if there's a beer you want me to try, or there's a topic that you would like to discuss, feel free to email me, dave@beerinfront.com. I'm happy to hear any suggestions you may have. So enough of this. Let's get on with the show. Dry January is almost here, and I've got a deal for Beer in Front listeners. Ritual Zero Proof is a line of non-alcoholic spirits that I think are really good. Now, I haven't tried them all, but they have a tequila, a whiskey, a gin, an aperitif. I've tried the gin. I did a video on this. I thought it was really good. I made a gin and tonic. But if you go to ritualzeroproof.com, use the code in the cart, you're going to save yourself 16%. Plus, I get a little cut of this, so it helps the show out. So you win if you want to try something non-alcoholic, and the show wins. So check out ritualzeroproof.com. Use the code in the cart. I'm going to try some of their other products. I want to try their whiskey. I want to try the rum, and especially the aperitif. But once again, I tried the gin. I went out and bought this on my own because I don't want to put an ad out that it's something I don't like. So I tried this for myself. I really liked the gin. So if you're looking for something for Dry January, or you just want to cut back the alcohol consumption a little bit, check out ritualzeroproof.com and use my code in the cart. In beer and beverage news, I'm recording this on Sunday the 29th, and I just heard that former President Jimmy Carter passed away. Rest in peace, President Carter. For how this relates to beer, pretty much if you're drinking a craft beer, you need to thank President Jimmy Carter. In October of 1978, President Carter signed this bill. I think it was H.R. 1337, if memory serves correct. This legalized home beer making in the United States. Now, this wasn't all his idea. This was pushed forward by Senator Cranston out of California and Representative William Steiger out of Wisconsin. So this was their idea. They slid this in to this bill 1337, which was more about transportation, but they snuck it into this bill. President Carter signed it, and that made homebrewing legal, which it wasn't up to that point. After Prohibition, it was illegal. Well, that really started the boom of people that started to homebrew. And many people like Ken Grossman from Sierra Nevada, other places, they all started out homebrewing, and they took their talents to the mass production part. So pretty much every craft beer we drink right now, you need to thank Jimmy Carter for. So President Carter, rest in peace, sir. You made it to 100. God bless you. In other beer news, there wasn't a lot of beer news this week with the holiday, but the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild is having their third annual My Illinois Beer Fridge. This is a contest that's going to start on Friday, January 3rd. Stock your beer fridge with beer from the great state of Illinois. Take a picture of your stocked refrigerator. Tag and follow Illinois Craft Beer and that brewery on the Instagram or social media. There's a hashtag involved, MyIL Beer Fridge. Every week in January, the person with the most enticing beer fridge is going to win a $50 gift card to a member brewery of their choice. So there's a lot of great beer in the state of Illinois. I talk about it a lot. I have my Drink Illinois beer series. So head over to the Illinois Craft Brewers Guild for more information, but load your refrigerator up with beers from the great state of Illinois, and you could win a gift card to buy more beer. All right, welcome back. If you're a clown like me that lives in the city, you don't venture out too much. So I want to talk to my friend Paul. He was on the show 3 years ago. I did a thing on the music of 1971, and we talked Black Sabbath. So we're going to talk again about the great breweries out in the suburbs, and he's going to let you know places that you should hit up. Paul, thank you so much for coming on again.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Love your show, and I'm glad to be back.
Well, before we get started, I'm going to crack open one from a place near you. This is Goldfinger's Vienna-style lager. I've talked about it on the show a few times. I think I did a video. This is such a great beer, and always one that is in my rotation. And I haven't been to them yet, so I need to find out more from you.
Yeah, no, it's a great one to crack open. That's my go-to when I go out to Goldfinger.
Now, that's a place I haven't been to yet. What's going on in their tap room?
Yeah, so Goldfinger, their specialty is just lagers. That's all they do. That's all they have on site to brew. They actually have all the brew things are on their side, like a traditional lager is. And they've brewed some other stuff, ales, but not there. It's always been in conjunction somewhere else. But it's a really beautiful space, very family-friendly. During the height of COVID, they opened during COVID and just took off shockingly and surprisingly in a good way and just blew up. So they have really family-friendly stuff. They have a huge outdoor area, shut down now, obviously, because of the cold. But one of my favorites...
Tomorrow, we can go.
Maybe. We'll give it a whirl. But one of my favorite things that they do there is they have an annual Oktoberfest, right? Lager, German, and their Oktoberfest is a lot of fun.
This Vienna lager, it's just spot on. I mean, everything about this is great. The color, the foam. I love the flavor here from the Vienna malt. Nice little bitterness. Like this, maybe a tick more bitter than what I would associate with the Vienna lager, but it's not in a bad way at all. I mean, I really dig everything about this.
I agree. Again, that's my go-to. One of my other favorites from them is their Mexican lager.
Okay, yeah, I think I've had that before too. That's really good.
Yeah, it's super refreshing, super light, but doesn't miss out on any of the flavor at all. It's like drinking a corn tortilla. It's amazing.
Yeah, that I have to get some more of that. Like I could only find them. There's a couple bottle shops here that carry them, and they don't carry everything. And every now and then I can get something from Binny's. But yeah, that's the thing. I definitely need to get in the car, check my iPass, and make sure that's up to date, and get the expressway and go check it out.
When you do, let me know. I'm a 5-minute walk from there. So,
Oh, God, that's perfect. What are some other great breweries around there that if people are like me, they don't get out much? Where should they hit up?
well, I think I'm spoiled being in the Western Burbs because there are just so many within earshot. One of my other favorites that's kind of low key, it's been growing the last year or so, but Whiskey Hill Brewing.
Okay.
Their original spot was a little tiny place in back behind a bus barn. They've since grown. They now have a pub, brew pub in downtown Westmont, but the original spot's still my favorite. They are phenomenal at their barrel age stuff. I think everything that they do barrel age is just, I mean, you wouldn't think coming from this little tiny place, but it's just so spot on. All their stouts, their pastry stouts, their barley wines that they barrel age. I love their program. I'd put it up against anybody.
Now, More, they have the Villa Park. That's been open for a couple years. I hear great things about that spot as well. Like I hear the food there is perfect outside. You know, the beers are great as well, but I hear the food there is really cool.
Oh, the food is one of my favorite places, or favorite reasons to go to More. They have what's called the More Burger, which is a smash patty burger, but it's their version of a Big Mac. And it's just, I mean, you just want to keep eating and eating and eating it. And then you could get truffle fries with it. So if you're a truffle person, their fries are amazing. And shockingly, they do Indian food really well, which, so samosas, they have some really good samosas.
All right, cool. What are some other spots? Like, you know, you mentioned the Western Suburbs. So what would you categorize the Western Suburbs as?
I guess for me, anything around the 290, 88 corridor, right? All the way out through Downers Grove, Westmont, Oak Park, I guess, as well. Anything around that area is kind of what I kind of refer to. Willowbrook is another one, maybe even as far as Woodridge.
Well, I hear like Hailstorm, they're out in Lombard. I've liked the stuff that I've had from them. Like, would you consider like Church Street and Itasca part of your Western Suburbs? Like Noon Whistle, things like that?
Noon Whistle, absolutely, up in Lombard. And they'd be one of my go-to lists. Their Gummies series is great if you love hazies. Yeah, definitely them.
Like Solemn Oath in Naperville, like they put out some really good stuff. I've been close to it. I was at Go Brewing and I didn't have a chance to get there because I'm like, I got to drive back. So yeah, it's a long drive back from Naperville on a Friday afternoon. So I didn't get a chance to run into Solemn Oath, but I've been to their city location, which is really good. And their beers are great too.
I had no idea they had a city location. Yeah, their original is kind of off the beaten path. Like it's almost in Aurora. It's on the border of Aurora and Naperville by the mall, if I remember right. They have an amazing Kolsch and really good Oktoberfest stuff. Some of their IPAs, which they're known for, are just more on the bitter side than I personally like. But I know that all my IPA buddies rave about them as well. They're a really good one. You know, Lyle has some really good spots too. There's a low key place called Bubble House Brewing. They've only been open about a year or two, maybe closer to 2. They do some really crisp, clean beer that I really like too.
If you had to put together a mix pack for, you know, a city person, okay, these are what I would recommend from my part of town, my Western Suburbs. What would you include in that mix pack?
Well, I would definitely go again with the Goldfinger Vienna Lager. That has to be in there. Another place that I love that I didn't talk about yet, Black Horizon Brewing.
Oh yeah,
they actually just won gold at FOBAB for one of their beers. Midnight Fist Fight is a hazy IPA that they have, and it is delicious, and it sneaks up on you. I definitely add them. And then another place, Eichen Oak Brewing in Woodridge. They have great pizza on site. and they have a Mount Massive, which is another kind of hazy imperial IPA that I would add to that list as well. And the food is phenomenal. Great family spot too.
Yeah, Ike and Oak, I wish they would distribute here more. I've had it once and I really liked it, but it's not something I could get all the time, but I loved what I had.
Yeah, they're very, very local, hyper local. They can a lot of their stuff, but I think you can only get it there or maybe some bottle shop or trade something or another. But yeah, I'm with you. They're kind of hard to come by.
Now, you mentioned pizza, and I forget, maybe it was Noon Whistle. There was a Western Suburb brewery that opened up a new pizza kitchen. Do you know anything about that?
I wish I did off the top of my head.
Oh, I'm Googling it right now because I'm like, yeah, it's pizza is ready for pickup or delivery at their brew pub. And I remember seeing something, I don't know if it was Instagram or Twitter or, whatever, but they started this whole new pizza kitchen and it was supposed to be really good, like tavern style pizzas. So I'm like, oh, that's another thing I'm going to have to definitely check out.
See which one it was?
I think it was the Lombard. Yeah, Lombard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm looking at it now. They have a scratch pizza kitchen, 7 days a week that it's open. And just from the pictures here, looks like just, tavern style, normal Chicagoland area pizza that we would get. But I've heard really good things about their pizza there in Lombard. So I might have to check that out.
No, that's awesome. I will be right there with you.
Yeah. You're going to be my Western Suburb correspondent here.
I will be your tour guide, Dave.
What other spots have great food there that people should check out?
I think that's one of the sad things. We have a ton of breweries, but not a ton that are kitchen and brew house. Now, a lot of them get amazing food trucks that kind of come out. I don't know in the city if that was ever a big thing or if it was and it died down, but it hasn't died down a whole lot in the burbs. But if you're interested in maybe expanding what we call a brewery a little bit, there's an amazing German restaurant, Bavarian Lodge in Lyle, that has any beer you could ever want there. And if you're a big European beer lover like I am, they have all the German, all the Belgian style, the French Saison style stuff on tap straight out of Europe. So, and the food is, I've never had a bad meal at Bavarian Lodge.
It's probably been like 10 years since I've been there, but I remember going there and they were having like IPAs that you couldn't get anywhere. I mean, that was such a great beer selection and you can't go wrong with a good schnitzel. I think I might have to go back to the Bavarian Lodge.
No, I wouldn't blame you. Now, I love bottle shops too, and we got a ton of bottle shops around here. One of my favorites, I don't know, I'm wearing the hat right now, but Bottle Theory in Elmhurst. They have a great kitchen with 20 beers on tap, tons of bottles that you can get there. Their food is phenomenal. And the thing I really like about them, they do a lot of like ticketed party events. So on Mother's Day, I bought tickets, took my mom there, and it's great. You have a big buffet, have a beer. They gave the mom a wine for Mother's Day. Same thing for Father's Day. And we just bought tickets to take our kids to Bottle Theory to see Santa Claus. So nothing like cracking open a beer at 9 a.m. when you're meeting St. Nick. So
yeah, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. But yeah, no, I think we follow each other, Bottle Theory on Instagram and stuff, and they always look like they have some cool stuff. Don't they have a brewery out there, Elmhurst Brewing Company? Have you been there?
They're on my list. I haven't made it yet.
Okay.
But you mentioned phase 3 earlier. There isn't a phase 3. They're based in Lake Zurich, which is far north, but there is a new one that has a great kitchen there too. So I don't think they brew on site. I could be wrong about that, but they have all the great phase 3 beers that we've all grown to love. So that's just a stone's throw from Bottle Theory. So you could go up and down that little block and have a blast.
Yeah, I think when I do that, I know I have a friend with the police department there in Elmhurst. I'll have to make sure he looks the other way when I'm driving home. No, I will take an Uber, folks. I'm kidding.
We know you. You're very responsible.
Yes, I will definitely take an Uber. Are any of these places, like you mentioned one that was family friendly, are most of them like family and kid friendly, or in the summer, outdoor patios for dogs, things like that?
Yeah, honestly, everyone I've mentioned is a family spot. I mean, like you said, we take family walks to Goldfinger and sit out there. We've biked to Whiskey Hill. We've biked to a few other places as well. Every single spot that I've mentioned is family friendly. One other quick thing too that just came to mind, I wish I thought of it earlier, but if you're into meads, and I don't know if that's your thing or not, some of your listeners might be, but there's a place called Standard Meadery, which is right down the street from More in Villa Park, and they make some amazing honey wine meads, right? So I'd be lamented if I didn't at least mention Standard Meadery.
Okay, yeah, I've heard good things about them. I know I tried the local city meadery here that's really good, but no, I'll have to check them out too, because we can't go wrong with a good mead.
No, then for Halloween, they came out with Ecto Cooler, and for those of a certain generation remember that, and it looked exactly like and tasted amazing.
Oh, that sounds really good. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
So what else is going on, Paul, with you? It's been, like I said, it's been like 3 years. So maybe we follow each other on socials and stuff like that, but it's been 3 years since we've chatted face to face here.
Right. No, I think, well, we just had Thanksgiving. We're coming up on the Christmas and greater holiday season. So I think just trying to meander through that a little bit, outside of work and the little boys growing up, and then just trying to knock off as many beers as I can from my list. I've slowed down, I think, on like the hunting of the old days, right? Getting up, standing in line at like 4 a.m. for BCBS and all that stuff. I don't do that much anymore, but I did end up getting a few bottles this past week. And other than that, just living life and trying to make it every day.
Yeah. I think I saw an email that even Binny's had some of the ones from last week on sale already. I mean, not much, but like a buck or two off, because I didn't wait in line. I'm like, there's so many good ones out. I don't need to wait in line for it. But yeah, I think the regular and one of the variants was already marked down a couple bucks.
And that's not too shocked. It used to be, it was hard to find, right? Now it's, you can walk into a Jewel and find a lot of those things, which to me, I love. I love that I don't have to wait in line anymore.
Yeah, I mean, forget waiting, Black Friday while everybody else was over at Target or doing whatever, Toys R Us back in the day. Us clowns, we were waiting outside of the Binny's trying to get some Bourbon County stout. Yeah, you could wait a week and get it on sale or go to your Jewel and pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, but you mentioned like a place by you, and I forget the name of it, so I apologize. But every brewery, especially in our Illinois, the greater Chicagoland area, everyone is putting out some phenomenal barrel-aged stuff. So you really don't have to wait in line anymore. If, you don't get Bourbon County brand stout, you can go to, your local brewery and pick up something that's equally as good.
No, 100%. I thought even like we're spoiled in Chicagoland. I think we really are, because I've traveled across the country here or there for business or pleasure, whatever it is. And there's some good beer scenes, like Portland, Oregon is a phenomenal beer scene, San Francisco and the big players. But I don't know if Chicago, maybe just because I live here, gets the respect I think it deserves on a lot of things. But either way, I think we're spoiled. You have like Hailstorm that does amazing work beer on the barrel aged stuff. More Brewing, like we talked about. Phase 3 does just amazing things. So I mean, we could keep naming and naming and naming.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can go part 2. We could have a whole series on great barrel aged, in our region here. Being at Fobab, the weekend before last, it was just, my God, and there was a lot of places from all over the country, but so many great places like, I didn't even know they did barrel age, and they're, 5 miles away from me.
Did you go to Fobab this year?
Yeah, I went to
Oh, good.
D2, the Saturday afternoon session.
Yeah, I haven't been in a couple of years, but I usually went on Saturdays. So are you familiar with Skeleton Key?
I've had some of their stuff.
Yeah, they unfortunately a few years ago when the tornado hit, right? They were down for almost over a year. I was incredibly thankful that they came back, but they don't have mostly food trucks and not another food spot, but super family friendly. One of my favorites from them is one of their flagships, Migratory. It's a toasted coconut golden ale.
Oh, wow, that sounds phenomenal.
It is, and right now seasonally they have what they call Dankless Weissbier, so a dark wheat ale. So it's sort of a mix between a wheat beer and a dunkel.
Okay. Yeah,
and that's awesome.
Yeah, I remember reading about, them when the tornado hit. And yeah, I have a bottle shop here, Bottles and Cans, that carries a lot of stuff from the area. So I do see them and pick their stuff up from time to time.
Yeah, if you see Migratory, definitely try that one next time.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I ran there this morning. I'm like, oh, I got to get some stuff because I knew I was talking to you today. So I'm like, let me put together a little mix pack of stuff from the Western Suburbs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to crack real quick before I let you go. I have one here from Pollyanna that's called In the Cards. It's a hazy American pale ale, 5.5% alcohol. So let's bust this one open real quick. Looks good. Wow. Big citrus aroma here. Yeah, that's just like drinking grapefruit juice. That's really good. And I don't say that in a bad way. I like this.
I have to check Untapped. I think I've had In the Cards before.
It finishes a little thin. Like I was expecting like a bigger finish, but it is a pale. But I mean, it's a good beer. I mean, I bought a 4-pack of it, so I'll definitely drink the other 3.
Pollyanna has a few spots too. Yeah, the original flagship is in Lamont.
Yeah, I was at that one years ago, which was really cool.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I was there on its opening day, and it was just accidentally, like 2015. A buddy calls. He goes, "Hey, there's a new brewery opening in Lamont." And I was like, "Lamont, okay." And then went downtown and stumbled on it, and we were there, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah. I always have that in my back pocket. I haven't been to too many breweries when they opened, except for Pollyanna.
Yeah, I mean, that was a cool spot. And you mentioned food trucks. And I remember, like, the time I was there, they had this awesome, they were crepes. It was a crepes food truck. And they had, like, savory and dessert ones. And that was, like, phenomenal. I'm like, oh, this is fantastic. And I love all the beers I've had from them. I mean, I haven't had a bad thing from Pollyanna.
Yeah, they have, like, I don't think it's all barrel aged, but they have their stout, which is all based on, like, candy bars. So there's, like, bite size or fun size is what they call them. And there's like one that's like Snickers, with peanut butter, chocolate, and so on and so forth. I think they do both barrel aged and unbarrel aged versions. Those are a lot of fun to drink.
Yeah.
Hence the name Fun Size.
Yeah, that's like a really good spot as well. And you said they had a couple locations?
Yeah, so Lamont was their original. All right, so yeah, their original was in Lamont. They have one that is in St. Charles, and then their third one is in Roselle.
Roselle, okay.
Roselle. So yeah, they have 3, and I know the Roselle one does have food because I've been to that one before. And what I remember, it was like when it opened, maybe 5-6 years ago. They had really good food.
Anything else for like people to do that aren't like alcoholics like we are that want to drink? Like, what else is there? Like to do, like, is there a good shopping district? Is there hiking or, what kind of stuff, can people do that don't drink all day like we do?
Well, there is the wonderful Morton Arboretum, which is just a stone's throw from me. If you love nature and just getting out and hiking there, I highly recommend it. And they always do a bunch of shows not shows is the wrong word, but events where you can go in. Like a couple years ago, they had a bunch of big gnomes that they built in, and you could go and tour and look at all the gnomes and see some fun stuff there. I guess the Oak Brook Mall That's kind of standard.
Yeah.
If you're a shopping one. And if you want to go a little bit further, apparently the Aurora Outlets Mall, which is called the Chicago Outlets Mall or whatever. I didn't know this, but apparently it's a huge tourist attraction where they bus people people from out of the country. They'll bus them to that place for some reason. So it's like, wow. So that's been a lot of fun. But if you had to do anything, I definitely highly recommend just going to the Morton Arboretum.
Yeah, that's a cool spot. I think my wife and I, Ruby, we went to that gnome exhibit or that gnome thing maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I know it was pre-pandemic, but I'm like, oh, wow, this is like really cool. And there were like huge statues that we took pictures of. And yeah, I've been going to the Arboretum for years. That's such a cool spot.
Oh, 100%. You know, another thing too, if you just like downtown shops and visiting a bunch of things, downtown Downers Grove, and don't call me a homer, but downtown Downers Grove, I think, is sort of a hidden little gem. Naperville gets all the pub all the time, and probably rightfully so in some ways. But if you want a place that has tons of great restaurants, nights, little boutique stuff, interesting things, come to downtown Downers Grove. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
All right. Well, I'm jumping on 355 soon, and I'm going to be heading out to see the area around Paul, the Western Suburbs. Mr. LaLonde, thank you so much again for coming on. I appreciate it, brother. Definitely got to hit you up when I get out that way, and we'll hit a couple of those breweries.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you asking. I appreciate what you do, highlighting the area and our shared love for brewing. First round will be on me at Goldfinger.
Sounds good, my brother. I appreciate it. Thank you. Discover Harpoon Shop, your ultimate destination for the finest in apparel, glassware, and souvenirs from Harpoon Brewery directly from the source. Elevate your style with their exclusive collection of clothing, perfect for showcasing your love of craft beer. You can get glassware, bunch of different swag. So you definitely have to check out Shop Harpoon Shop. If you go to their website, and I'll include the link in the show notes, if you use the code in the cart, you're going to get yourself a discount and you're going to help the show out as well. But they have everything there: glassware, hoodies, t-shirts, everything you want. Harpoon is a great old school brewery. Now I'm going to have to go pick up another one. I had a Harpoon Brewery t-shirt when I went to the brewery years ago. So I wish more of their stuff would make it to the Chicago area, but it's not. But definitely check it out. If you go to their website, shop.harpoonbrewery.com, check it out. Use the code in the cart. You're going to get 25% off, and it's going to help the show out. So please head over to shopharpoonbrewery.com. All right, the beer that I'm going to have now is from Villa Park. This is More Brewing Company's Villa Pils. This is a German-style Pilsner. Checks in at 4.8% alcohol. Everything that I've had from More has been solid, so I'm looking forward to trying the Villa Pils. The Villa Pils has a really nice, good golden color, maybe a little darker than what you would expect from a Pilsner, but no, I'm digging the color. Good couple fingers of foam here. Smells really good. I mean, it smells just like a classic Pilsner. Smells great. Oh, yeah, that's crisp. Really clean. I love the way this tastes. Good malt flavors here. I get some hoppiness at the end, but it just has a really nice, crisp, clean finish. Oh, I'm digging this. No, that's good. That's good. If you're looking for a nice, good Pilsner in the Chicagoland area or the Western Suburbs, like I was just talking about, you got to hit up More Brewing Company. They have a couple locations, but they do have one in Villa Park. And if you're there, pick up the Villa Pils, put it in the cart, put it in your glass, put it somewhere. It's that good. You got to try it. All right, the next beer I'm going to have is not from the Western Suburbs, but I had to stay in the city and grab something from Half Acre. They have a new one that's just out now. It was supposed to come out in January, but I found it. It's called Sunrise Vallejo. Now, I guess in this year they're going to have 3 different Vallejo beers that are going to use different hops from the Southern Hemisphere. This is the first one up. It has New Zealand hops, and according to the website, this is supposed to have aromas of sweet melon, berry, and dried pine. So this is a winter IPA, if you will. So let's crack open the Sunrise Vallejo. Pours really nice, beautiful color here. Good couple fingers of foam. Oh yeah, definitely get the melon out of the aroma. Yeah, I get some of the berry there. I don't know about the pine, but maybe I'll get that out of the taste. But the smell on this is phenomenal. It doesn't list the hops that they use here, but it does check in at 6.7%. This is more of a West Coast IPA. It's definitely not hazy. Oh yeah, that's really good. Like, I like the Vallejo that comes out. I think it comes out like once a year. That was really good. I haven't seen it as much since they put Bodum out like 5 or 6 years ago, but the regular Vallejo is good, but this Sunrise is excellent. I do get some of the pine out of the flavor, so it's really good. I'm digging this one a lot. It's a nice West Coast IPA, which Half Acre excels at. So if you see Sunrise Vallejo, definitely put it in the cart. It should be available everywhere. I actually grabbed this at my Mariano's, which is a chain grocery store here in Illinois. So you should be able to get it everywhere you could find Half Acre beer. So if you see Sunrise Vallejo, you know what to do. Put it in the cart. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Beer in Front. I thank you very much for listening. Once again, I want to thank my friend Paul LaLonde. He came on to talk about the Western Suburbs, great breweries and places to go if you get out of the city. So don't be a clown like me. Get out there. See other parts of this great state. Have a great week, everyone. Happy New Year. I'll talk to you next week. And remember, sometimes the beer in front of you is the best one yet.